Today I'm going to show you how to create high-end fall decor using Dollar Tree items. Dollar Tree has out these decorative pieces for fall that I thought, what if we tried turning these into pumpkins? You can spray this with your favorite color. I'm going to be using a matte navy color, and I'll spray all the sides, doing about 2 coats. Now we have to figure out what to use for our stem. So I'm going to be creating this using craft paper. So I cut out a section of craft paper. This does not need to be precise. Just cut out a square that you can use for this project. Then you're going to use some Mod Podge, and you want to use your foam brush to put the Mod Podge on one side of your paper, flip it over, and put it on the other side. Next, you're going to start in the center of your craft paper, and you're going to start twisting the paper. This is what's going to form the top of your stem. So you'll continue to twist it up until you like the way it looks. Then with your excess paper, you're just going to cut that off. Next, I'll put on my stem. You can either use the Mod Podge to adhere it, but if you want to put some hot glue, you can do that as well. And then make sure the stem is in the shape that you want. Next, I wanted to add a little bit of greenery, so I had a few eucalyptus stems that I cut off, and I'm going to hot glue those to the top of my pumpkin. And I always like to add a little bit of the Dollar Tree moss. I feel like it just finishes it off to any pumpkin. I felt like it needed a little bit more greenery, so I had a couple of greenery pieces from Hobby Lobby that I'm gonna hot glue on, then let it dry overnight, and here's how it turned out. I feel like acorns have been the DIY project that I've really gravitated towards this year. I found this silicone acorn mold off of Amazon that I thought I would use for this project. Now, I wanted to do this with some Quick Create. Now, if you guys are getting sick of the Quick Create, just let me know because I've been using it in several of my DIYs. But it's a great medium and it has that concrete look, and I just love the way it turns out. So I'm gonna be mixing my Quick Create with water. I want the consistency to be almost like a thick pudding. So I'll mix it together, and then I'm gonna find just a tray that I can put the silicone mold in, and I'll start placing the Quick Create into the top piece. Make sure you shake the top piece so that you cover the entire piece of that mold, because I was worried about it getting all along the edge. And once that's full, I'll put it in the base of the acorn. Now you wanna let this sit overnight, especially that top piece. I tried to go back in after a few hours and it wasn't dry. So make sure you let it sit overnight. Then you can peel back the silicone. Then you're left with these really nice pieces of concrete, and then to attach them, I just added a little bit of hot glue to put them together. This will continue to dry over several days to look more like concrete, but here's how it looked the next day when I styled it in my decor. Last year, I made a pumpkin using a Dollar Tree loofah. This year, we're gonna use a dish scrubber. Pick up any dish scrubber, and then you can spray it whatever color you want. I have to say, I kind of had trouble with the color on this. I started to spray it a copper color, but it was a little too dark, so I mixed and matched my spray paint until I was happy with the end color. For my stem, I always love to use a natural stick. I just feel like it looks great. So I'm gonna cut a smaller stick from a stick we had in the backyard. I'm also going to be using a eucalyptus leaf. So I will hot glue the stick in the center of my dish scrubber. I'll also add on the leaf. And again, finish it off with some moss. This is a really easy project to do, great to do with your kids. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Comment the word of the day, which is fall DIY. For this next DIY, I have a great pumpkin decorating idea for you. Now, I saw this set of 3 pumpkins at Dollar Tree. I loved the shape of the pumpkins, but not necessarily the color, but we can easily change that. So I'm gonna spray all 3 of these pumpkins with the color Sand Dollar. This is starting to be my favorite spray paint. I've been using it in a lot of projects. Last year, if you were following me during the holidays, I created these borax ornaments. They were really pretty and they had these great crystals to them. And I thought, let's try it with the pumpkins. So you're going to start with a pot. Now, this pot needs to be designated for crafts. Outside of my pot, I wrote borax. This is an older pot that I'm gonna be using just for this project. And then I'm also going to mix in about a cup of borax. I'm gonna fill it up halfway with water. Now to mix it, I'm gonna be using a paint stirrer. Then I'm gonna turn it on high heat, and you just wanna leave it on the heat until all of your borax is dissolved. Then turn the heat off and you're going to place the pumpkins into the pot. You want to let your pumpkins sit in there for at least 24 hours. What's going to happen is they're going to create these really cool crystals on your pumpkins. Now, it's kind of in a random pattern, but it looks so cute. Now, if you want more crystals, leave it sitting in there for even longer. Like, I probably could have left mine in there for about 2 days. I just did the 24 hours, pulled them out, and then let them completely dry. Once they're dry, they look so pretty in your decor, and I love the crystal effect on these pumpkins. Dollar Tree recently came out with these cool Lazy Susans in the plus section. So I'm gonna show you how you could style this Lazy Susan with some other fall items. Now, one of my favorite things they had out this year are these little acorns. They have them in the pedestal. They also have the small trays. So I'm gonna place those on my Lazy Susan. I thought this would be great to sit out with any of your fall candy. You just place it on there, get the orange, get the really colorful kind, or honestly get whatever you want. And you can have this out during the fall season, or if you're having people over to your house. Dollar Tree has so many great fall stems, so make sure you pick them up because there's just so many great selections. So I wanted to put together a vase with my Dollar Tree stems. Now, this was a vase that I thrifted. The thrift store is honestly one of the best places to find large vases, and I'm gonna spray paint it with 2 coats of the Sand Dollar spray paint. Then I'm going to put in some of my favorite Dollar Tree florals. And then I also found these moss pumpkins. I was so excited to find these, but I could only find 2. So I'm gonna add those into my floral arrangement. Honestly, I absolutely love the way this turned out. Make sure you paint that subscribe button. If you're watching me on your phone, the subscribe button is right next to my channel name. Click the red subscribe button so it goes from red to gray. You can also click the notification bell so you can see more videos like my Dollar Tree DIYs, home hacks, and room makeovers. Have you been able to find these foam mushrooms? I showed you guys these in one of my Dollar Tree Shop With Me videos, and I wanted to show you a way you could incorporate them into your DIYs because they're not really like an easy item to figure out. We kind of had to think about this one a little bit, but I thought, what if we turned this into kind of like a hanging wall art situation? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these foam mushrooms and I'm just going to saw them in half. I need 3 for this project. And then I'm also going to be using this wood square canvas that they have. It's around $3 in the plus section, and I'm going to be using a medium tone stain, and I'm going to stain the entire board, and I'll let that sit and dry completely. Now, I wanted to add some hooks here that I could use to hang up things like my keys or just smaller items in my house, and I bought this set off of Amazon. I'll link it for you down below, and I wanted it to be a little bit off center just to make it look a little bit more artistic. So I'm going to start by putting one of the hooks and screwing that in place. I'll hot glue the half of the mushroom that I cut onto the top of that hook. And I'll repeat these steps with 2 more hooks. This is great to hang up in your house for your keys and just looks really decorative for fall. You guys know I use thrifted books all the time in my decor, and I wanted to show you another way that you could style them for the fall. So I found this really great set. The cool thing about them is they were all the same size and they were really large at the thrift store. So that's what I'm gonna be using for this next project. Instead of painting them, I wanted to cover them. I'm gonna be using that same craft paper that I used at the beginning of the video, and I'll cut it down to size so it fits around my book. I'm gonna hot glue one end of the book, and then I'll wrap it around to the other side closed, and then I'll fold over the paper and hot glue it in place. I'm gonna cut off the excess on the top and the bottom of my paper. I'm gonna repeat these steps for all of my books, so all 3 of them are gonna be covered with that craft paper. Now I wanted to create a fun decal for the end of my book, so I went into the Cricut design space and just found a pumpkin image they had, and then I figured out about how big I needed to make it, put my black vinyl into my Cricut machine, and cut out this pumpkin piece. Now, because it was in sections, I could pull off the little sticker pieces and place them on the end of my book. So I just set my books up so I could see the end, and I placed the stickers on the edge of my books. And here's how they look styled together for fall. For this next DIY, I'm gonna combine 2 of my new favorite items they have at Dollar Tree. One are the black tiered candle holders. I really appreciate that Dollar Tree came out with these in different sizes. They make doing DIYs so much easier, and I'm gonna spray paint them white on both sides. Now, to put on the top of these candle holders, another item I've been loving are these leaf trays. Love the fall colors. I just think they look so pretty. So I picked up 3 fun colors, and I'm gonna add E6000 to the top of my candle holders, and I'll place the leaves on top. I love how these look in my living room. In one of my first Dollar Tree Shop With Me videos, I found these tiered pumpkins for fall, so we're gonna be using these for our next DIY. I have 3 of them. Whenever in doubt, just buy it in a set of 3. It always looks great in a set of 3. I wanted to make these a terracotta color, so I had this sample paint that I picked up. I'm just going to paint them in a terracotta color. Once that terracotta color was dry, I came in with a white color to add to the top stem portion. I also put it on my pumpkin just to kind of mute it down a bit. In some areas, I added a little bit too much white. It was a little too harsh, so I came back in with that same terracotta color and almost mixed the colors together until I was happy with the look of it. I wanted to elevate these, so I'm gonna be using some Dollar Tree pots that I had, and I'm gonna paint those with an ivory sample paint. Now, once that was all dry, I put it together by adding some foam pieces that I had on hand to the base of my pots. I'll put some hot glue on the top of my foam and cover that with some Dollar Tree moss. And then I'll add some additional hot glue on top of the moss and place the pumpkins on top. And here's how they look styled in my home. Let me know down in the comments which of these DIYs was your favorite. I love knowing your guys' opinion. And don't be afraid to try that project you've always wanted to try. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. I hope you subscribe because I want to see you back here. Bye.